Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Guess what?
What?
It's not the Weekend Podcast.
Oh.
With Frank Skinner, Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane through the Absolute Radio brand.
Is it through the auspices of Absolute Radio?
It isn't this week. They ran out of auspice.
Help yourself to a pun there.
We'll leave it there, shall we?
Yeah.
I think just about got away by my fingernails. Too many eggs. That's my trouble. I'm still recovering.
Oh, yeah.
So,
too much chocolate.
I'll tell you what I am recovering from. This something that now has started to ruin my life.
Oh, God. She hasn't come out of the woodwork, has she?
No, she's. It's well nailed, that lid. I'm having quite a lot of problems at home.
Oh.
with my duvet.
Oh, I'm relieved.
Okay.
Now, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the problem is. My duvet is like a double duvet. Is that normal? There's two duvets inside the duvet cover.
Oh, whoa.
No, that's not normal.
No, is that wrong?
That's
They're
not normal.
They're buttoned together. I mean, I suppose it's just a way
They
of...
button together?
Yeah.
I've never seen the like of this. Have you, Alan?
I've never heard of such a thing, no.
I think it's just like additional tuggage.
It's a double duvet. Oh, I'm sorry, Frank. Forgive me. I know what you mean. So it's like a seasonal thing, isn't it?
It's seasonal.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am with you.
So obviously at the moment it still has its winter layers. So there's two duvets in there, but two duvets posing as one.
Goose?
Maybe later. I can't reach you from here. Anyway, what happens is during the cleaner comes on Tuesdays to our house and does a lovely job with the duvet. It's immaculate after. And then every night the duvet starts to move about a bit further. It's like an escape. So there's the bottom bit has got bits of duvet sticking between the buttons. You know what I mean? Like a hernia. If you can imagine a duvet with a hernia.
Right.
It's like escaping cake mix or something.
Yeah.
I know that
Or
look.
like when that stuff that people squirt into their the gaps in the wall, you know, that sort of bubbling.
Oh, yeah,
It looks
yeah.
like that. So what happens is you end up with a duvet which has a very uneven, so there's a big thick pile of duvet at one end, which is basically like sleeping under a donkey. And the other one is just a duvet cover.
Yeah.
What you've got bunching, Frank.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's bunching is what you've got.
What does one do about that?
I'll tell you exactly
That doesn't
what you
involve
do.
doing anything.
Well, I'm quite forensic. I will climb inside the duvet like a sort of bomb disposal expert.
You'll get inside the cover.
Yeah, it's like a Baudouin sort of tent. I
You're
put it above
kidding
my
me.
head. I spend a lot of time
imagine.
down there.
You'd look like a bit like you know Kylie's look for I can't get it out of my head or whatever it's called. That kind of. She looks like she's emerging from some sort of bed linen.
I'm sorry, you're right. Did I say Baudouin?
You did.
Can I tell you why I do that? It's Bedouin, isn't it?
I thought it was Bedouin.
Yes, it is, but the reason I say Baudouin is that he was Shirley Bassey's ex-boyfriend that I knew as a child, so I grew up thinking you pronounced it that way.
Oh,
Where did Bedouins come into this?
It was like a Bedouin tent, and I pronounced it Baudouin because I used to know
Baudouin
someone called
tent.
Baudouin.
I've never heard of, but
See,
Bedouin.
You're absolutely correct.
And what you're doing there, you're losing the pun on bed.
I know.
It's terrible.
You're so
that.
right.
See, the French, obviously, they blow any possible joke out the water.
I blame Shirley Bassey.
For so many
For
things.
so many things. So, yeah, sometimes I just think an internal investigation is the only way.
Well, it's
And-
funny, my doctor said that to me last week. I'm still waiting for the results of that package.
Frank sent some in the post.
Exactly.
Once you've done the internal investigation, and then
Thank God I didn't have to lick a stamp. It was an already addressed envelope. Sorry, Em.
then you can establish where the issues are. I know what you mean, Frank. It's like Britain's fattest man when he's lost weight. The folds.
Yeah.
hang
Yeah, but
down.
it's all
baggy
in
jumper.
one. Oh man, it really. And I wake up either cold or I wake up piled high.
You're going to have to stand on the bed, and you need to hold the pointy ends taut. Yeah,
Well,
so you need to get
I don't have
purchased.
that kind of span. I can't hold both.
Said it was normal double. You've got that span.
It's a king-size bed.
Oh.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Hang on, have you got a king-size bed and a double-sized...
No, king-size bed,
That's-
king-size duvet, king-size duvet cover.
Right.
That's the rules.
Because it sounds to me like your quilt is smaller than your duvet.
What, are you out of your mind?
If it's bunching up in the corner, surely you want...
Oh, see, I never used to have this in it. When I grew up, we used to have sheets, blankets, and an
Yeah.
eider-down.
Oh,
Occasionally-
Torquay guest house.
Very
They were heavy
occasionally.
on you, weren't they? They were
Cold
heavy
weather,
in
it would
those
be
things.
army greatcoat.
Really?
Yeah, on top.
I was going to say, you should just put all... You know, you said once on this that you've got a lot of suits that you don't actually wear.
Sleep in them.
Just put all the suit jackets on top of the bed.
Just wear them. Get to bed wearing about 4 suits like a Russian doll. No, I don't like a trouser in bed. No, the thing is that
We know. How can we know this about you? It's-
no, but I don't like that. But no, it's that's the overcoat was a brilliant idea because what's the
Yeah.
point of being cold and having an overcoat hanging there?
Well,
Yeah.
that's true.
No point hanging there if they can be useful. This is how the community programme replaced capital punishment on the same theory.
You see, I think you need some Velcro application. Get your
Do you?
cleaners. Yes, on either side. That's what you
That'd
need.
be quite handy in bed. Actually, I could say to Kath, no, it's the Velcro.
Oh my!
Well, they were held together by enormous safety pins. Because one night I grabbed the duvet.
What a strange big nappy.
Yeah, I grabbed the duvet, the corner of the, and one went like about an inch and a half into my hand. I say inch and a half. It broke the skin. But I see, you can't sleep with a safety pin in the duvet. Anyway, look, but I really, if anyone has got any answers to this, I would love to, because it really, there's nothing worse than being woken up by an unruly duvet, is there?
Couldn't you have another duvet on the bed next to the floor? Like on the floor, just by it, and then if you wake up in the night and you've got just the sheets, you just sort of roll over and pick up another duvet.
I'll tell you what worries me about that is that I have got a spare duvet downstairs, but I used to have 2 duvets.
That's
in
what I
there.
call the row duvet.
No, but sometimes I would have it, and then I'd say to Kathy, you have the donkey duvet, I'll have this one, and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
But then you get someone stay, in that moment when you have to give up your duvet for
Yeah.
them, I despise them. I despise them
I
for making me do
understand.
that, so I'm better to not have it.
Get inside, Nick. I'm shocked. Do you two never get inside the duvet?
I've never been inside a
Have
duvet
you,
cover in
Alan?
my life.
No, I
I
haven't.
spend a lot of time there.
Do you?
Yes.
I'm now tempted.
Weekly, I'd say.
Do you pop on like a miner's headlamp or something first?
Do you,
I crawl around in there like an animal.
are you part of an experimental theatre group?
Like you had to ask that all my life I have been.
I find that, no, anyway, it's a problem.
Or you could sleep in your onesie. I know you've got
Too
a
hot.
onesie. Too hot.
Yeah, I can't slumber in an acrylic.
I'll tell you what I do like, that point in the summer when the weather's getting too hot and you take the duvet out and just sleep under the duvet cover. That's what we sometimes
I've
do.
never
if the
done that in
weather's-
my life. There's no
weather's
such
nice.
thing. I'm cold every night. I don't care.
Me too, Frank.
Oh, really? I'm very warm-blooded.
I slept in the Sahara desert once and was still a bit cold in the night. It gets quite cold in the
Take
Sahara.
the wrong tog with you.
I took Victor Abugu with me, the international rugby player.
Is that true?
And we had a nice little house to sleep in. It was, you wouldn't call it a house, but it was a habitation. And we were supposed to be sleeping in there, me and Victor.
Uh-huh.
Do you know Victor's an enormous man, like
No.
many rugby players.
Do you not know Victor?
Anyway, Victor said, I'm just popping to the toilet. Was this an ensuite? Well, we couldn't stay. We couldn't stay. He couldn't stand it. I mean,
really?
imagine me. We ended up, even though it was mosquito and with malaria, we ended up sleeping outside under a loose net.
Because he'd been.
He'd been, and we couldn't breathe.
He
in.
rendered a whole house unlivable.
I'll tell you, never. If a professional rugby player says, I'm just nipping to the ensuite, you've got to take him down like a rhino.
Not easy. They train for that.
No, exactly. He's a powerhouse in so many ways. Certainly, if anything, powered by methane. Anyway, have we heard from the outside world?
We have.
We have. And we have an email that I would like to read, titled Crush of the Century.
Oh, Nicholas Parsons.
18 Derbyshire. I have been working. I don't know what that
18 Derbyshire.
I don't know what that bit means. To be
How
honest,
small is Derbyshire nowadays?
I thought that was a
There's
cut and
streets
paste
in it.
error, but I think it's part of the email. 18 Derbyshire.
It's like number 1 London.
It is.
Where the Duke of Westminster
What a
lives.
great
18
address.
Derbyshire.
There's only about 25 houses in Derbyshire.
Yeah.
I have been
That's someone
working-
really important in Derbyshire.
I have been working through the backlog of podcasts and shows and have realised I have
Well,
developed...
working through.
Yeah, it's a chore, isn't it?
Blimey, don't make it sound like such an ordeal.
That sounds like me under the duvet. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, it does a bit.
I've been working through the backlog of podcasts and shows and have realised I've developed a crush upon Emily Dean.
Oh, hold up.
Despite
Crushing
having...
the century.
Oh, hang on. Despite never having seen a picture of her or having heard of her
well,
before the show.
that's cleared that
Brackets,
up.
No offence intended.
Loads taken.
I have since refused to Google her image as I quite like the image of
Refused?
her. I have refused to Google her image as I quite like the image of her which is put across in the show. I'm not insinuating I'd be disappointed.
Oh.
Jed Dixon.
Jed?
Jed. Jed.
Well, we had an email from old Jed.
18, Derbyshire.
Oh, do you know, that sounds like it could be a stately
Hey,
home name.
Jed, how you doing?
I think it could be his age.
Plum tuckered. You're plum tuckered? Isn't that some kind of a dessert? I don't know. Tuckered means exhausted, and plum is an intensified adverb. Little extract from the Wild West Adventures of Jed.
Little extract from Christmas Future for me, apparently.
Intensified adverb. Who'd have thought?
Yeah.
Oh, he's smart.
Oh, I knew that.
Yeah. It was the Warwick years.
Well, no, I tell you what I admire about Jed is that he's resisted the Google. And I've started doing that now with like films and things. I find out as little as I can. I saw Hunger Games last week, and there's a lot of reviews and stuff. I noticed in Time Out magazine, which is a London listings magazine, a 3-star review, which would have put a lot of people off. And I thought, see, I don't want to know anything. I just want to turn up. Of course, I loved it.
Good.
Totally loved it. But I like the idea of getting a crush on someone who you've only ever heard. Have you ever seen The Matter of Life and Death when David Niven is a fighter pilot about to crash and he speaks to the woman on ground and they kind of fall for each other?
Oh, no, that sounds good.
Yeah. Oh, I'll recommend it. It's a brilliant movie. But
It's like pre 0901 numbers, basically.
Oh, okay.
No, but I can see, 'cause he's done it the right way around. He hasn't been lured in by your sexual charms. He's been lured in by your personality and your vocal timbre.
I've won him over.
Yeah.
Well,
Can I say, Jed, as Peugeot once said, the reality is even better than the dream.
Oh, Frank, do you know,
nice,
that's so nice. I think it's best to keep it this way, Frank.
Do you?
I don't think we should sully the waters with photographs.
But you haven't even seen Jed. Jed might be a honk and a half.
Well, can I
What,
just say...
old Jed? That old timer?
When you said Jed might be a honk, because of your accent, it sounded like a honk. Like Jed might smell a bit. Like that rugby player.
He wouldn't smell like that.
I like the idea of residing at 18 Derbyshire.
Well, exactly.
I can see me there. A bit
I
like
like-
Maggie Smith in Downton Abbey.
How do you feel if I'm right, though, and it means he's 18 and in Derbyshire?
No problem with that.
Maybe
Not
it's
at all.
related to Eileen Derbyshire, who plays Emily Bishop in Coronation Street.
Oh.
Maybe.
Oh.
He's her 18th
That
son.
wouldn't work as much of an aphrodisiac,
No.
I have to say.
Well, I
Bit
don't know.
tenuous, the
Ooh,
showbiz
bit of
connection there.
celebrity link, always good. Well, I'm intrigued now. What about if you two are if you are the soulmate thing, and you're not going to find out now because...
Oh, Jed Dixon.
Yeah, well, I got a lot of time for old Jed. Say, Jed, where you been? Well,
Oh, Jed, you know,
Chief Running Ward had a bit of an uprising. What, at his age?
there are a few in the mix at the moment, I won't lie.
Oh.
Yeah, and he could add his name to the list for consideration.
Contender ready. Gladiator ready.
Crush of the century.
Thank you,
Okay.
Jed.
What else?
Pass on your details to the team here.
Just you'll be on the list. We have a waiting list.
You know when
we
do
are
have
seeing
a
other
waiting
people.
list.
You know when we get emails
No, but there's one
from,
that's
like,
got to the top, so we'll have to
Oh,
see.
really?
Yeah.
when we get emails from like Australia and South Africa and stuff, I always sort of have half a mind of thinking, oh, we'll probably tour the show and do some live shows one day. Do you think we should start with Derbyshire?
18 Derbyshire. Oh, Frank, I can say that when I get the phone. 18 Derbyshire.
Yeah, that'd be good. I'm intrigued now by who's top of the
Because the
list. but
landline rings a
We'll
lot,
bookmark
doesn't
that.
Yeah.
That's brunch sorted.
Yeah. So we've also had another email in.
Have we?
And this email is from Kelly. She says, Dear Frank, Emily and Alan, all your talk of days gone by recently has obviously sent me back in time to the 70s.
Oh, my talk of days gone by. That's what these shows become. It's like something from the people's friend.
I saw a man the other day selling fizzy drinks, or pop, as we used to call it, from a van.
Was he selling the crush of the century?
And when I got home...
Fizzy drinks from a van? I thought that had died out.
Yeah.
We used to have a thing called the Alpine Pop Man.
All right.
There used to be 2-litre bottles of pop. I mean, that's a big bottle.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah, and we used to use them for ant colonies.
Nice.
And
What is your favourite? Or you strike me as an orangeade type.
well, it was the only pop company I've ever come across that sold pineapple-ade.
No, no.
Oh, that sounds nice, Frank.
Yeah,
Oh, I feel
Or
I
it-
missed out in my childhood.
it was. That was my favourite. Or in France, of course, it would be ananas-ade.
Lovely. Oh, did you go to France when you were a kid?
No.
Oh. I thought you might have.
To France. We went to Rille once, and we went to Kinva.
What are these
Next.
places?
Rille's in Wales. Kinva was about 10 miles away from where we lived, but there was a river.
Oh, was there?
I think there was a river.
Oh, did
anyway.
you just set up tents by the river? I like it. Frank, I haven't finished this email yet.
Oh, sorry.
So then she says, so picture the scene. She saw the man selling fizzy drinks, or pop as we used to call it, and when I got home, in my post was a flyer for an autograph signing event. One of the guest stars was Robin Asquith. Lots of love, Kelly.
Robin Asquith of Confessions with a
Yes.
Confessions of a Window Cleaner driving instructor. He's at an autograph signing event.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of his work. I won't have a word said against him.
Well, I'll tell you something about Robin. Are you familiar with Robin Asquith?
Not very, no.
Alan, you look confused. He used to get naked in all the films. They were sort of soft.
All right.
They were sexy films.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, they weren't rude, but they were rude.
Uh-huh.
And I was working at the Warwick Arts Centre, and he was on. I was doing stand-up in the on part, and he was on. I think he was doing Dario Fo's Rise and Fall of Arturo Ui.
Was it really?
And I went past his dressing room, and he called out and said hello and stuff, and he was completely naked. And I
Oh,
thought,
my God.
"Yeah, does he ever wear clothes, Robin Asquith, at all?" So I saw him absolutely in situ. It was perfect.
You think in all those films that they were saying, all right, we've got you the costume, and he's like, don't bother about
That'll
that.
be fine. Yeah.
It's not my thing. I don't really do costumes.
But it's kind of incredible. It's like walking in on the man who does the Go Compare ads, and he's singing the Go Compare thing. It's
Yeah.
like, like he's that all the time. I couldn't breathe.
I like the Confessions films, Frank, because you could be a lady and you didn't have to bother about personal grooming so much. I remember seeing Jill Gascoigne playing a sexy lady in one
Oh,
of them,
yeah.
and she had a bruise on her leg, and she had a negligee.
I have to say, I love a bruised leg.
In a 70s film, sexy lady with a bruised leg, you're allowed to have bruises then.
You see a lot of sort of middle range models with bruised legs. I remember. What was that girl that used to be a bit of a sex symbol in Coronation Street? Tracy Shaw.
Oh, yeah.
There was a
Oh, she loved
fabulous
a bruise.
shot of her sitting in a shopping trolley. Do
I
you
know
remember
that picture, Frank.
And her legs,
Oh, the gusset, I know it.
Either she drinks a lot or she's a very devout Catholic. But her knees were black and blue. I'm leaving the other option in case anyone's not going there.
Oh, dear.
Not going there. Don't go there.
It'd be rude. It'd be
Don't
rude
go
not to.
there. That's what they say, isn't it? People. Hey, don't go there.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
I saw a thing in the paper the other day that I wanted to mention to you. I'm interested to know if you have similar fitness fads as I do. There's a woman in the paper who has lost £143, and that's weight, not money, although
10
possibly
10 stone?
possibly money as well, by learning how to hula hoop. She basically spins a hula hoop around her waist.
I read about this woman.
Sadly, they did a before and after picture. Loads and loads of after pictures.
Which was which? Oh, okay.
But in the before picture, she's wearing a black dress that's got a sort of a shiny belt around it. And it does look like she's stuck in a hula hoop.
Oh, no.
That is,
Like a badly wrapped table napkin.
it's exactly like that. Yeah.
Oh, that would be terrible. She thought, I'm going to start hula hooping. Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
what a
I don't
way
know
to
if-
be.
like, that picture's day one.
No, I read it. The thing that stuck in my mind is that it said, I mean, God bless. How old was she? How heavy was she?
She was
at her heaviest?
originally, she was
Somewhere.
£288.
What's that? That's 20 stone, isn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah.
We say, what's that in real money at some
Yeah.
point?
Yeah, I
during
think
this.
that's 20 stone. And it said that she was asked to leave a fairground ride because the safety bar wouldn't close over her stomach.
Oh, that's awful.
I mean, that's...
Do you know what?
That's
That's a look within yourself moment. Or outwardly.
When
Yeah.
someone from the fairground says...
Comments on
sorry.
your physical appearance.
Yeah. Do you think he said... By the way, we also have a freak show here. Here's my card.
And also just when the fairground are saying on health and safety
Yeah.
grounds, we can't allow this.
Yeah.
You've really crossed the line.
Do
haven't
you think you could grow a beard? Well, I mean, it's a great... I, as you know, I'm a hula hoop enthusiast. I've done it twice in the last year.
You had a massive row with Kath once because you didn't think she was suitably enthusiastic about hula hooping on New Year's Eve. Am I right?
Yes, that's true. Oh, I did a couple of classes in hula hooping. I found it really, really enjoyable. I don't know if one would... You'd have to do a lot of it to lose weight. You do sweat, though.
Well, if you sweat, then that's it. It's
Yeah, there you go.
cardio.
It's doing it. I like this is the idea of this woman sat around eating snack food and said to her husband, I wonder if there's any other kind of hula hoop which would help me to lose weight rather than gain it. Well, hold on, let's have a look on the internet.
It's a funny thing. It makes me think of sort of 1960s health farms, though. I do worry a bit about the aesthetics when you're doing it. How do you look?
Is it one of those things you should do
No,
alone in a room?
I think you're good. You look...
Well, Frank, you're snake-hipped, so...
Yeah, well, you do. You look
Yeah.
very snaky hipped. And I'll tell you what, the great incentive is if you don't do it in a carpeted room, because I did it in what I would call a gymnasium.
Oh,
And the sound of a hula hoop hitting the floor is horrible. So you wiggle like there's no tomorrow because, like there's no tomorrow Beckwith. Because
Tracy Short and Mark Beckwith, 1996
Probably
on
has,
Absolute Radio.
no, but you do. It's an incentive to keep going. I just find it very satisfying, and you can do tricks. You can go walkabout with it. You can,
Yeah.
and all that.
What do you mean go walkabout? Take it for a walk?
You
Spin it on
walk
yourself.
around with it.
stroll.
Oh, I see.
I can do that whilst juggling. I'm
Can you?
a reasonably good juggler.
Is that right?
Don't like to
I had no
overstep.
idea.
Yeah, I
Do you know,
can-
you strike me as a juggler.
I
You're
can
a-
juggle clubs. and
You're
stuff
so
like that.
deep.
No, it's
So
not
li-
very deep. All
so-
it means is that for a certain period of teenage years, you did not have a girlfriend and you practiced juggling instead. That's all it really means.
You know, you
when
needed
you
a
see a
Jed Dixon
juggler
in
the
your life.
street, you need to pity them.
Are you suggesting that women basically waste time that could be used more constructively? Is that what?
Well,
Is that the upshot of that
I
statement?
think it would have been more constructive to have had a girlfriend rather than practice juggling. That's what I'm
Maybe,
saying.
but I'd sometimes think the lonely get a lot more done.
Well, every cloud.
Yeah. Every clown has a silver lining.
That's what they say. Do they?
No, I don't think they do that.
I like the idea that there's hula hooping classes that you stopped
Yeah.
going to, and why was that? Did they not keep you in the loop?
They weren't very...
Thank you. I thank you.
They, what happened was that they're at a sort of a... Are you aware of Champneys, the
Oh, yeah.
I'm
spa?
very aware of
I
it.
like to call it a health
Somehow
farm.
ended up on their
Yes.
email list. As so many things. You end up on people's spam lists. Don't you?
Yeah, it's a shame the phrase health farm has disappeared. It's much better than spa.
Spa, yeah. No, I'm a regular.
It's got an old-fashioned sort of 50s feel to it, which I really like. It is like a health farm.
So you you didn't have a hula hoop at home as well?
No, well, I went to a class there. When I came home, I bought a hula hoop. I was so smitten.
I'd love to have seen him in that class. Were there those ladies, the sort of ones that look like Elton John in the leotards? The old school?
It was a mix. It was a hodgepodge.
Oh, was it?
There was. I think I was the only man in there, but there was pretty ladies and less pretty ladies.
Okay.
But I did. If I'm going to be brutally honest now, that hula hoop, I don't think I've picked it up for 6 months.
There's the rub. It's like the ice cream maker of the fitness world or something, isn't it? Like the pasta maker.
It's a terrible. It's like the ball. We've got the big ball,
Oh, have you?
The big exercise ball.
We've all got that.
And I never exercise. I don't think Kath does.
No.
And what we do, we use it as furniture.
Yeah.
If we have a few people round, we say, "No, you sit there. I'll get the ball."
Oh, it's like the puff, the modern day puff.
Yeah, then exactly. And then I sit on the ball, which has got a sort of a space hopper.
Yeah.
If you can imagine a beheaded space hopper.
It's like sort of
horrible. It is.
Yeah, it's like that.
But functional.
It's like an Jetsons dinner party. They're all sort of floating. It's quite futuristic, isn't it?
Well, there's only one ball, but I think, out of deference to the guests, I should be on the ball. Mm-hmm. And Kath couldn't sit on the ball at the moment. She'd look like, two fat ladies,
Matt
88.
Lucas.
Exactly. She'd look like a Mr. Man. She's heavily pregnant, in case I'm not suggesting she needs the hula hoop. But it's a sad thing with those things that lie there that you thought you were going to use a lot. And,
yeah. I have it a lot with foreign language
Rosetta
tapes.
Stone.
Yes.
Oh, really? Is that your thing?
Well, what I do when I go away with people, sometimes I lie. And I say I can speak the language better than I can, and then it catches up with you because then you're about to take off. So I said, I'm quite good at French. Actually, I'll be all right. I'll get us through this.
When I lived with David Baddiel, he told me he was fluent in Italian. And then when we started doing fantasy football, we had course to film in Italy. And they said, well, we'll need a translator. I said, no need. Dave speaks fluent Italian. And he said,
you did that on purpose.
I honestly believe
it.
Well, why lie?
Yeah.
You just write in sketches based in Italy for years going, we could do this.
What happened? Relive the moment of humiliation.
He said, look, I'll be honest with you, I can't.
He basically lied.
He said, I lived in Italy for a bit. I said, and he always told me, I used to live in Italy. I think it was like 2 weeks. It was a holiday.
I used to live in Italy.
I once met a backpacker who said, if you've been in a place 3 weeks, you've lived there. That's it. You've lived in that place if you've been there 3 weeks. Well, he
told me, is it grade 9 you can get to in music, or is it grade
8?
Is that the highest?
Yeah, that's the highest, grade 8.
Right. He told me, he said, I'm grade 8 piano. I said, amazing. So we had a woman up, a young girl we got up to play piano who was doing this show. And I said, Dave, come play. Dave's grade 8. He said, well, I didn't actually take grade 8. I got, but I think I was at that level.
Oh, really?
I mean, why would I think less of him if he'd said to me I was grade 7?
I think I was at that level.
Well, I'm like that. I think I'm at master level at karate, but it's not been double checked in some time.
Did you do karate?
I did a lot of karate.
You joggle, you did karate. You're an absolute closed book, you are.
We
you need
must
to
have
share
talked
more
about this already. We've definitely talked about my black belt in karate. Definitely.
Have we?
Yeah.
I know a little bit about his work.
And I got my...
you knew?
I got my tooth put through my lip and out the bottom.
You know him so well. I feel I don't know you at all. You're a mystery man. You're like that bloke on the Sandy Man port in the long cloak and the dark hat.
Oh, one of my I had a bit of a crush on him. He was one of my obscure crushes.
They called him Sandy Man because he used to have a physical relationship with wet patches of beach. He was in Korea.
Very fine callback there.
Thank you so much.
So my apartment is scattered with these books. Well, I actually hide them in the makeup room now. But things like...
There's a precious little room in there.
Well, I know. But the Turkish,
The makeup room, not the makeup bag. The makeup room.
I know. But I like Turkish. I can speak a smattering of that.
Can you?
Yeah. Teşekkür ederim.
Well, that's
Yeah,
good.
but we can all do that.
No, that sounded good.
Seni seviyorum. Seni seviyorum.
You see what I mean? I sometimes think they're making it up.
That means I love you. How nice is that? I just said that to you as a friend.
Okay. Ti voglio bene.
What's that?
I think that's I love you in Italian, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. Should we ask David Baddiel?
has
Oh,
got-
we won't know.
Tell you what, Jed Dixon won't be liking this bit, will he?
Why not?
Because Emily's telling everyone else she loves him.
No, he'll probably have that as his ringtone.
It is
No,
right.
he's
He'll isolate that.
yeah.
See, Jed, what was that? Comanche? Hell no! It was Turkish. Turkish? Where is that? Another little scene from the Wild West Adventures of Jed Dixon.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.